Hey everybody, Alex here with Porsche Austin. Today we're going to do the 2024 Cayenne setup. All right, let's start with the key first. On your key, you've got your unlock, your lock, and your trunk button. Let's start with the doors. As long as you've got your key on you, you can put your hand in the door and it'll unlock. You can lock it by putting your hand in that divot, and there's those divots on all 4 doors, so you can do that back here, and you can also unlock the door here as well. So just like that. Let's go to the trunk. As long as you've got the key on you, you can come to the bottom, press the button, and that's going to be the trunk release. There's 2 buttons up here. The button on the left, as long as you can hold that down, it will remember the height that you set it at. So if you want it to be a little bit lower, you can come down here and you can hold that button down and it will save that for next time. Something really nice about Porsche is we still do spare tires in our SUVs. So as long as they're gas, at least. The hybrid doesn't come with this. So if you lift this part here, you'll notice there's a collapsible spare in there. And there's also an air inflation kit. So you would pull this inflation kit out, you'd plug it into your little 12 volt lighter or 12 volt connector inside of there, and you would be able to fill up your tire. There's also the Bose surround sound piece there, and then to close it, you just press this here and it'll close. If you press the other button, it'll actually lock all the doors in the car as long as the doors are closed. All right, so if you want to put some gas, as long as the car is open, this little door will be open. You just press it once and it'll pop right open. You twist that once, hang it here, put your gas. We recommend 93. If you can't get 93 in another state, put as high as you can, but you will have a check engine light come on if you don't put 93 or higher. And then to lock it, you put it on, twist, click once, and you're done. Let's go to the interior now for the technology review. I'm gonna break it up into sections so that you can come back to the video if you need to and pinpoint anything that you're having trouble with. Let's figure out how to start it. On the left side of the car, there's a start button right here. So as long as you have your foot on the brake, you can press the start button and it'll start right up. It's a little bit different than the push to start we're used to from the past. So the new 2024 Cayenne has a digital display here. It has a bigger touchscreen here, and it also has a new option for a passenger display on the right side. Let's begin. Choose your language, then press next. Porsche will send you an email regarding setting up your Porsche Connect. Go through the prompts on the email and you can log right into your car. But since we don't have that option now, we're going to continue. So continue as guest for now. You'll log into your Porsche ID. I'm going to disable, and I'll recommend disabling the privacy function. If you need to keep that on for various reasons, please do, but in this case I'm going to turn it off. Next, I'm going to activate Hey Porsche, and I'm going to show you some really neat things we can do now with the Hey Porsche function. Alright, so let's search for devices, and as long as you're in this page here, your phone will be discoverable. So you'll click on your device, and then it's going to ask you to pair. You're going to press allow. Any contacts that are saved in your phone will be saved on the car. And it may or may not ask you for Apple CarPlay prompt, but if it doesn't, I'll show you how to connect that next. But here's the Apple CarPlay prompt. I'm going to go to use CarPlay. From there, you'll just accept the disclaimers. Next, Porsche wishes you a safe journey. And also congratulations again on getting your new 2024 Porsche Cayenne. So take a look at the home screen. It looks really similar to the home screen we were used to in the 2023 Cayenne, but there's some subtle changes and I'm going to go over them now. Let's start with navigation. On the navigation screen, you're going to find your main map, and you're going to find on the bottom left side there's an option to change to 3D maps or a map that's over the top. So in this case, I'm going to do 3D maps, and there's also a satellite map option too. You had this option in the past, but now the maps are even more crisp, and you'll find that shortly. In the zooming function, you'll notice the plus and the minus on the left side of the screen. And as the satellites get more cleared up, the image just becomes really beautiful, and it's nice and colorful. Depending on the area you're in, and we're in West Austin right now, or Northwest Austin, you see all the green hills. But as you zoom out, see how beautiful that is? Incredible map. And that's Google satellite imaging. On the right side, you've got an option for navigation settings. So here you can set up a destination, and then if you need to avoid tolls and avoid other things like that, you can come in here and access those. You can also scroll down and display routes when starting route guidance. So those are different routes that you can go instead of just taking the route that Porsche recommends. You've got map settings at the top, fuel warnings, display country information, navigation announcement, and you can also turn her up and down, Porsche's voice assistant that's navigating you, while she's speaking, and that will adjust the volume. So let's go back. Let's go back. And as far as typing in a destination, let's just do something easy like, let me just do Best Buy. So you type in your destination. On the right side, it's going to come up with the closest destinations to you. I'm just going to choose that one.
The destination is on a restricted
so you can take your
street.
Volume,
the route is being
turn her
calculated.
up or down while she's talking, and then you choose the route that you want to go. This gave me 3 different routes. I'm going to press start, and let's begin. And something really neat, on the map page, if you look over at the right side of the steering wheel, there's a roller key here. So there's a selection tool here that will allow you to jump to different portions of that screen. So go into the middle, take your roller button, and just roll it down until you get a full map. And then once you're in the full map page, you can click here, and you can change that to satellite map as well. But in any case, it's actually just showing you the navigation destination you had set up here, also in here. Super cool. We'll get to this next. I just want to go over some of the functions of navigation, and that's one of the functions. So in order to cancel the destination, just press the red flag at the top, and we are back. So play with that a little bit. If you're the type of person that likes north up, you just press this key here, and now we're working in north up. All right, now let's go back to the home screen. Let's start with media. So upon opening up media, you're going to get the welcome screen for Sirius, and I would say listen now. You're going to get 3 months free as long as it's a brand new car. And on the Sirius tab, as long as this is selected, you can go to list, you can go to all channels, and you can go and choose your favorite stuff in here. So in this case, let's say you wanted to do like 70s on 7, and you like that, you just start it. Say you like 80s on 8, 90s on 9. So now where do you find your favorites? The very top, you see that star? All the favorites we just added will be found in this page. And if you don't want them to be a favorite anymore, all you got to do is simply just check that, and now it falls right off. See it? All right. And at the very top, I'd say these are similar to your home row keys for your favorite media destinations or your favorite media tools. You can click on the right side, the dots that I just clicked on, and you can rearrange at the bottom. So if you wanted certain items closer to the very front, like your favorites, you can put that at the very top, and then you can confirm, and now your favorites is on the left side right when you open your media screen. If you got the Bose function or the Burmester function, you've got the option to turn on different modes. So this is the surround, linear, and the bass selection. In this case, if you've got Bose, I highly recommend turning on the surround. If you click linear, it's going to keep the music more flat. Some people like that, but other folks that really like to enjoy music enjoy the surround. Bass and treble, obviously adjust that depending on how you hear music. Balance and fader is similar to stuff you've used in the past. Sound True, I'd say leave that on. It just helps the music sound a little bit better. And Audio Pilot is going to turn the music up and down depending on your speed. So let's go back here. Next, I want to go to FM. I've got some FM fans probably still in the house. If you like an FM station, it's similar to the way we added our other favorites. You just go to list, you can scroll to your favorite stations. Let's just do 90.5 KUT, press the star, and that's also going to get added into your favorites. See it right there at the top? And then your volume button is here, and if you need to mute it, you can just click it, and now it's muted. All right, so let's keep going. I'm going to press the home screen top left. All right, let's click on the phone app. In the phone app, you've got an option for favorites, call logs, contacts, and keypad. And next, you're going to go to Apple CarPlay, and there is your Apple CarPlay. If it doesn't connect right away, what you need to do is you got to go into devices, and you've got to make sure that your Apple CarPlay icon is blue. If it's white, then you just select it. So in this case, it's white. I'm going to click it, and now it is connected. If you're using Android Auto, essentially the setup is going to go very similar to the last setup, but you'll just go through Android Auto's prompts. All right, so here's Apple CarPlay. It's the entire screen. It's neat because you've got the option to move some of the icons on the back page to the front, but you'll do that on the phone itself. And what you'll need to do is you'll go into General, you'll go into CarPlay, and then you'll find whichever car it is, and you'll connect it that way. So in this case, I believe it's like Cayenne 95547 or 5447, I'm sorry. And then you go to Customize, and you can drag and drop depending on what you want showing on that first page. All right. There is an option for Siri. So if you like to use Siri for everything in your life like I do, you can come and press this button on the left side of the steering wheel, and all you got to do is hold it down for a few seconds. You'll hear the Siri prompt. You couldn't hear it because it's so quiet, but she did prompt, and you can tell her what to do. And if you don't want it, just click it again and it'll cancel it. But I'm gonna hold it down one more time. Did you hear it? Hey Siri, never mind.
Okay.
And that's it. So you can tell Siri to, like, hey Siri, play a certain song on Spotify, or hey Siri, take me to a certain destination, or hey Siri, set a reminder for tomorrow at 9 a.m. to take out the trash. So Siri does a bunch of neat things. You just got to get to know Siri. There's also, oh look, Hey Porsche wanted to play too. So that same button also acts as a voice control for Porsche. So if you press it once and just click it, Hey Porsche does come on. Next, let's open the vehicle tab. So click here. At the top, you'll see different categories in the vehicle tab: assistance, trip, comfort. Right here on the drive modes, this is going to correlate with your twist here. So as you twist and change into different modes, it's also changing on your screen, and it's also changing inside of your clusters as well. So you see I can go into off-road mode, normal, or sport. If you have the Sport Chrono package, you'll have a little sport response button inside of here, and it will also have a function for Sport Plus. So this one didn't opt with it, but if you do have the Sport Plus, you'll just twist it once more to the right, or you can physically change it here with your finger instead of twisting the knob. So if you go all the way to the left, you've got the off-road option. If you click in here, you've got the terrain option to change from gravel, mud, sand, and rocks. And you also have the button to show surroundings. If you're in a situation where you are climbing up a hill that's so high you cannot see the front of your car, then you can utilize the camera system. So let's go back into the main drive mode, which is normal. Some of you might find the adjustable air ride suspension also on this page. You can just click that and adjust the level of the car. You're also going to have an option for the sport exhaust system as well inside of this page, so you can turn those on and off as you see fit. But as you switch into different modes, if you go into sport mode, most likely it's just going to turn on your sport exhaust, and it will turn on the upgraded chassis setting, which is, in this case, it's Sport and Sport Plus. The start-stop function comes up a lot. If that box is checked, the car will turn off when it can. If that box is not checked, then that function will not happen. If you just put the car in sport mode, then the start stop function disables completely, and same thing with Sport Plus. Click under Assistance tab, and you've got an Additional Functions tab. Open that up. You can turn on and off the speed warning. You can also enable or disable the warn and brake assist. I'd say leave that on always. You have the option for lane keep assist as well, and you can adjust how wide the system's going to recognize. So you have a high, regular, low, and off. Obviously high is going to reach out to you a bit more and let you know if you are going over your lines or coming close to going over the lines. Lane change assist, that's going to be your blind spot monitor, so you can turn that on and you'll see the orange 3 squares on the left and the right side. So I'm going to turn it on and off again just so you can see it. See it right there? And then keep coming down. You've got an option for distance warning. If you're the type that you'd like to be warned earlier rather than later, just click early. And if you're the type that does not like to be warned until the very last second, choose late if you wish, but I highly suggest do early or regular. Emergency stop function, engage emergency stop if driver is detected to be unresponsive. I want that on. Nobody knows what's going to happen in the future, so it's better to have that on rather than off. You have a proactive occupant protection, increase occupant protection features in recognized critical driving situation. If you click on trip, you've got the option to look at your trip for the day and look at the range of that trip. Here's comfort. In the comfort tab, you've got an option for ambient lighting, one of my favorite things of the car. And if you click on the colors, I'd say topaz blue is the most favorite choice from all my customers, but you can do the dynamic, which will change depending on the music cover that you're playing at that time. So if you're playing some song by Pitbull and it's a pink music cover, you will get pink lighting, or the closest thing to pink that you can do, which in this case would be like poppy red, but I'll just leave it on topaz blue. You have an option for overall brightness. Most people keep it around 50, because if you do 100, sometimes it can be a little too bright. You have the option to also change the individual brightness for like the doors or for the footwell or for the cup holders, so you can go in there individually and do that as well. Press the back button. You've got an option to change the heating and ventilation balance on the driver's seat and the passenger seat. You've just got to go in there and click it individually. Next, let's go over air conditioning. Click on the air conditioning tab, and this is really important, so pay attention to this if you haven't paid attention already. On the left side and on the right side, it gives options for where you want the air to come out of the vents. If none of these are checked, it's only going to send out air randomly through all of the vents. So in this case, I'm going to click that button in the middle, and you'll notice the graphic actually shows air coming out of the vents there, and then on the right, see, now the graphic is showing air coming out of those vents. If that's not selected, you will not get air directly coming out of there. So highly suggest at least check those two. If you want to do the head or the feet, you can also do that as well, but here in Texas, at least most of us require just air directly on the body. There's an option for the ventilation up here, but what I find is most people have complained about drying out their contacts or just not wanting to really get air on your face too much, so they turn that off and they just leave the body on. But depending on how you like your air, you can do that as well. You'll also notice that you can click soft or strong, and it's going to send air out, but it's going to send it out as if it were almost max AC. So I don't really mess with those too much, unless you just get in the car and you're super hot and you just turn that on right away. That is up to you. There's also a section for auxiliary ventilation. So in the auxiliary ventilation, you can have timers set up. For example, if you do a timer at, say, 8 a.m. right when you leave, you can have the car actually start pulling outside air into the car right at 8 a.m. and it will be ready for your departure. It's not going to be cold air, it's just going to be outside air, just to kind of start getting some fresh air into the cabin. There's an option for rear climate control. If you ended up getting the 4-zone climate control, this is an option for you. So again, like the features in the front, just make sure at least the body is selected so the air will come out onto the body. Now that we're done with the actual screen part of the air conditioning, there's another important part, and this is the part you'll deal with on the daily. So if you look down here, you've got an option to turn up the fan speed on the left side and on the right side. You also have your temperature for the passenger here and the temperature for the driver here. If you want to get directly into the climate screen, all you've got to do is press climate menu here, and right away your climate screen will pop up so you can designate the air where you want it to go. If you have the ventilated seats, you'll turn them on here for the driver's side and here for the passenger side. It starts off at the highest fan speed, so you can turn that off just like that. With the heated seats, you just click it once and it starts at the highest setting. To go down, you just click it once, click it twice, click it off. This is your volume, so you can turn up your music or turn it down or mute it with that button here. That's the sync option to sync up all of the AC system to the way that the driver has his or her system set up. You've got the max defrost and you've got the rear defrost. You've also got the recirculated air, and on the right side you have the ventilated and heated seats. You also have a button at the top right for auto. Auto really works if you're in a state like California where the temperature is decently moderate all day. It's not too hot or too cold, because when you put it on auto in Texas, it seems to always be on the highest fan speed. Next, come back to your home screen and you'll see there's an option for notifications. If you do get notifications, which will come in, sometimes it's daily and sometimes it's weekly, and they'll be over-the-air notifications, it'll display the notification here. You also have the settings button, so open that up and you've got an option for displays. You've also got an option for voice control. I'm going to say turn all these on. As long as you turn all of these on, your Hey Porsche will work just like it's supposed to. You've got an option for audio, you've got an option for media navigation, and go all the way to the bottom and click vehicle. Under here, you've got the option for electronic parking brake to turn it on. You've got an option to customize your steering wheel button. So there's a button right here on your steering wheel. You can customize that to do a number of different things, like change the music source, or turn off the central display, or repeat driving instructions. So go through the different options you've got and set your custom button to do whatever you want it to do inside of the choices. You have tire pressure monitoring, and you have vehicle locking system. At the very bottom, click that vehicle locking system. Right now, we have it set to all doors unlock when you stick your hand in the door. If you'd like only the driver door to unlock, then click driver door and leave it just like that. You have an option to fold exterior mirrors after locking. You also have an option to lock doors while driving. You have the confirm vehicle locking with signal tone, and comfort access, tailgate comfort opening, interior monitoring. I'd say leave all those checked because they're really important. I'm going to go back in there real quick. There was a couple items regarding the lights. If you want it to be less than 30 seconds, just come in here and do 15 seconds, 5 seconds if you need, but right now it's set for a default 30 seconds. Also, you'll notice that you have the assistance systems, and these are the settings for that. So you can individually go in and set some deeper settings on those assistant settings and adjust those as you see fit. I'm gonna press back, and now we're back on our home screen. You'll notice the parking button on the left gives you an option to change parking functions, and you also have an option to show surrounding. If you do have the surround view, you'll notice on the left side, you've got different camera angles. So click that angle here, you can click this angle here, or you can click this right here and have the option to actually move around the entire car. The new camera system is incredible. So play around with that and you'll find that it's going to be really easy to park the car exactly the way you want to. If you want to use the wider angle camera, if you're coming out of a grocery store and you can't see around you, just click that button there and it will engage a wider angle, and that goes the same with the back as well. So here's the wide angle, click it again and it'll go back to the standard angle, and then you've got the wide angle again. Also, you'll notice something new on the parking function is the maneuvering assist. Brake while reversing if obstacle is detected. Let's turn that on. So now if you go back into your show surroundings, you'll see that that is checked right here on the left side. And then you've got an option to turn on or off the rear cross traffic alert and egress warner. Warn if traffic is detected from rear while exiting the vehicle. Let's go back to the home page and open up devices. This will be all the devices that are connected to the car from here and into the future. This is where they'll be displayed. If you have a family member or a spouse who wants to connect into the car while you're connected, just make sure you turn off your Bluetooth, turn off your Wi-Fi, and then go to connect, and you can connect the device that you're looking to connect. So if it's an Android Auto phone, then you can connect through there. Their name will display under this name, and if there's 3 or 4 names, they'll just go here in this column. And say there's another name right here under mine. If you wanted to connect into their phone while you're driving, just make sure their phone's Wi-Fi and Bluetooth turned on as long as they're connected already. Then from there, you just click the Apple CarPlay icon here and it will connect. But you do have to have their phone connected before you have that option to just randomly connect on the highway or in a situation where you're just sitting in a parking lot. Deleting. So if you need to delete a device, you just simply take your finger and you swipe left and go all the way and it will delete that device. So come back to the home page. You've got your Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. You've got an updates button here, and you also have a video button. So as long as you're parked, you can access Screen Hits TV. You have to have Porsche Connect activated. You also have to have the subscription to Screen Hits TV. So download Screen Hits TV, sign up for the subscription, and you'll have access to things like Netflix, Disney Channel, and some of the other options that Screen Hits gives you. But you have to download that through the app, whether it's through Google Play Store or through the Apple Store, and you can go through the prompts and set up for Screen Hits. And there also is an option for your passenger to display to utilize the Screen Hits while you're driving, as long as you have everything set up. But since it's a passenger display, you can't really see it from the driver's side. So let's go back home, and in here you'll see the bottom right is your calendar. So what you'll want to do is, with your phone, you're going to scan the QR code that pops up, and you'll go through the prompts, and you're going to have your Porsche app downloaded already and signed up through the Porsche Connect. So do those steps first, and then you're going to come and you'll read through this prompt to help the Cayenne understand your calendar. I'm going to scroll down, and you'll notice that you've got a weather app here. This will give you just the weather for your local area. You can add and take off certain locations depending on which house you're at or where you're traveling to. You have an option for home link. We get a lot of questions on this. So as long as you've got the clicker with you, what I recommend is click button 1 and then take your clicker and just point it at the screen and hold it down until this button lights up blue. Once that button's blue, go to the next page, and there's going to be a button right here that says signal. What you'll do is you'll hold down that signal button on the screen until it's successful. There's going to be a button that says, did the garage door open, yes or no? If it's yes, then press yes. If it's no, then press no, and then restart it. Just go down, hold down that signal button until it recognizes the garage door. So essentially, you're going to have the garage door open once it's successful. If the garage door opens, press yes, and you're good, and you'll be able to set that up for the future. And you can go in there and you can name that one button, or the button 2 or button 3, depending on which garage or gate it is opening. All right, you also have a smart service button. So this will let you know when these different services are required. So change spark plugs, not required. Replace air filter, not required. But as they do come up, this will change in its display in the future, and it will let you know what needs replacement. If you click the home button twice, it'll take you over to another page where you'll have like a map set up, the music or the source that you're listening to, and then your call logs. And you can adjust those depending on what you want to show. So all you got to do is click that here, configure my screen, and you can drag and drop depending on what you want to see in that screen. Click home twice, it'll take you up to the main page, and then scroll down. So that is your home screen. On the left side, you'll have your quick keys over here. So you have the map, media, Apple CarPlay, and then your vehicle tab. So if you're on another screen, you always have options to jump right into one of those screens depending on what you're looking for. One more function I want to go over before we hit the steering wheel. Inside of this little box, you'll see that there is a wireless charger in there, and there's 2 micro USB-Cs. You also have an option for your hazard lights, and that button will turn off traction control, so don't turn that off. Leave it on anytime you drive. Next, let's go over this steering wheel. On the right side of the steering wheel, you'll notice that you've got a selection tool here. You have a button to answer and hang up calls here. You've got a back button here, and you've got your scroll button, which is clickable here. All right, now what I want you to do is put your finger over the selection tool here and click it. Take a look inside your display, and you'll notice that when you click that selection tool, a white selection comes up under or over these sections. So bring that selection tool into the middle, and then with your thumb, just scroll this part up until you get to the very top. So this is the very top page. This is your standard page. If you use your finger and scroll down once, it's going to allow different information in these 2 screens. So take your selection tool, and that white bold circle will come around as you select. So let's go to the right side, and you're going to use your scrolling tool here, and you're going to scroll into different information sets, and you can leave it wherever you'd like. And then I'm going to take that same selection tool and jump to the left side. So now my white circle's over here, and I'm going to scroll the same way. This will show speed limit sign. So if the speed is 75, after you pass that sign, it will display in there. But until you pass the sign, it's not going to display anything in that left cluster. And there's your G-force meter, and there's the tire pressure monitoring that will enable after you hit 15 miles an hour. And in the inside of your door sill, it will read the exact PSIs that you need to be on. Take your selection tool and bring the white bold circle to the middle, and scroll down once with your thumb, and now we are on this page with the car. So every time you put on your brakes, it's going to show you the brakes. So the little display in the middle with the car will also show you your spaces for cruise control. So as you adjust those, you can increase them or decrease the amount of space between you and the car in front of you. And what I'm doing is I'm pressing this button here, up or down, And when I press the button up, it expands the space between you and the car in front of you. And as I press that button down, it will decrease the space. If you're in an intersection and you have intersection assist turned on, it will highlight arrows from the left and the right side in this section if there's a car coming from either side. Let's find the scroller and let's scroll it down once, and you'll notice that a map screen comes up. In the map screen, what I want you to do is, with that scroller button, click it, and you'll notice a prompt comes up. Click it again, and you can actually increase the zoom or decrease the zoom here. So I'm rolling my finger down, and it was zooming in towards where we're at. As you zoom out or roll your finger down, it starts scrolling outward to where you can see the state, the entire country, or the whole earth. So I'm going to zoom right back in. And once you zoom to a good area that you feel comfortable, then you will press the back button to come off the zoom. And then you can also keep scrolling down, and you can turn on or off the 3D map here. You can turn on or off the north up. And you also have the option to do permanent night map if you want that to go black. You have the option for satellite map once you connect to Porsche Connect. So you can turn that on here, and you'll notice that you get the beautiful Google Maps that you saw before. And then in order to zoom in, I'm going to zoom in just by scrolling upward, and there you have it. There's a beautiful map. And next, press the back button a few times so that you can use your scroller and scroll down and get the entire map. And you scroll down one more time, and it will bring a more simple format for your driving display, which will just give you your miles an hour and then the speed that you set for cruise control if you wanted to do that. On the, I'm going to scroll back to a page that is nice, like that one. On the left side of the steering wheel, you've got your special key here. So we went over that a little bit earlier, but that will allow you to customize it and do one function and one function only, and you choose what that function is. And that can be things like open the garage door, show the cameras, go to a certain screen, change the source for music. So that will all be done with your special key here. The button on the left is for voice control. So you can do voice control by either clicking it once or holding it down for either Siri or Android Auto. Or you can say, "Hey Porsche," and give her a function that you would like her to do. So she can do things like turn on seat ventilation, she can set the temperature to a certain temp, she can turn up the fan speed, she can also take you to a certain destination using the Porsche maps. So there's a number of different voice controls she can do. Those are going to be found in the owner's manual, but let's try one right now. "Hey Porsche, set the temperature to 75.
Okay.
And again, you want to make sure that in your settings, you have voice control with all the boxes turned on. And that will allow you to just say, "Hey Porsche, take me to Best Buy."
Best Buy in Austin. Start route guidance?
Yes.
Okay. Alternative route selection possible.
And that's it. So Hey Porsche is really meant to allow you to keep your hands on the steering wheel and have Porsche do certain tasks that she can do a lot easier than you can do by going into certain windows or certain touchscreens. So utilize that as much as you can. I think you'll really like it. But again, all you got to do is either press it once here or say, "Hey Porsche." So that's it. Oh, here she comes again. I'm going to turn that function off. And also on the left side, you'll notice that you've got the skip button for music, and obviously that's self-explanatory. And on the left side, you also have a volume button. So you've got your volume here, and you also have your volume here. And you can also do the same function. You can also do the same function by just clicking it, and it will mute it the way you like it. All right, let's discuss heads-up display. I jumped into a different car that has heads-up display as an option, so we can go over this really quick. Go into Settings, go into Displays, and click Heads-up Display. From here, you've got an option to do a custom display, and you can drag and drop different items in here based on what you want to see. So in this case, I'm just doing some quick options. And then you're going to press confirm, and that will display in your heads-up display. And then if you want to change the height and rotation of the heads-up display, what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to use your selection tool, and you'll notice that it's jumping from different sections. And if you have heads-up display, the next section it's going to go to when you press that button is here. So you'll see there's a little line right there, and as I click around, it gives us the option to change that section. So as long as the selection tool is highlighted in there, you're going to use your thumb on that roller button, click it, and it's going to give you an option for height, brightness, and rotation. So I'm going to click height, and then you can scroll up and down on the height. And once again, I'm just using this button here, the roller tool, to select inside of there. Leave the height right there, then press the back button, and now you are back. All right, let's talk about the new shifter. So Porsche used to have a shifter that was here, and now they've moved it here. The way you use it is you press down, and you'll go into drive mode, and you'll see that displayed right here on the right side of your display. To go into reverse, you push it up, and the camera will come on. And in order to go into manual mode, what you'll do is you'll hold this down, and it will go into manual mode. If you start using the paddle shifters here, you'll start noticing that the different gears are going to also prompt in here. So to go back into drive, all you got to do is click it once, and it will go back into drive. In order to go back into park, you just push the P, and you are back into park, and your emergency park brake also turns on automatically. Also, if you have the heated steering wheel, that button is going to be found inside of this lip right here. So what you're going to do is you're going to click it here, and it's going to display in here and let you know that the heated steering wheel is on or off, and that's going to be found right here inside of this section. All right, let's go over wipers. So you're going to find your wiper switch here. If you move it up once, that's going to put it into the rain sensing mode. And if you go up one more time, it's going to go into a little bit faster mode where it's actually turned on. And then obviously all the way up is going to be the fastest mode. And if you want to turn on your rear wipers, you just click that tip, and now the rear wiper is also going to start. And to turn off the rear wiper, you just click it again, and it will turn off the rear wipers. And to turn them off, you just push them all the way down, and that's it. If you want to spray the window with some water, you pull the switch towards you, and you will spray with water. If you want to spray the back with water, you push it towards you, or towards the front of the car, and it will spray the water. You can see it spraying back there. Next, let's go over blinkers. So on the left side, you're going to find your blinker switch. So obviously left is left, right is right, and that's where it's going to display the blinker, right in this section. And then you've also got an option for auto high beams. So right now it's in auto high beams. If you didn't want that on, you click it once, and now it's just going to be high beams on all the time, or you can just do auto high beams. Down here is your actual light section. So as you click it, it's going to give you different options. So I'm going to click it again, and it's going to go to low beam headlight if you just wanted to turn on the lights because they weren't automatically coming on. Or you can turn on your parking lights, or you can just turn them off. So I'd say leave it on automatic light control, and that's all you'll need to do. And then you have the option for your rear fog light, and it's going to display right there, not letting you know that it's on. Next, let's go over the adaptive cruise control a little bit more. So I scrolled over to this page, try to find that page if you can. And you'll notice there's a little button on the tip here. So when you click it, it gives you options. If you click it again, it'll go to speed limiter, hill control, or off. So click the button again and get to the top that says adaptive cruise control. And then you're gonna take this little toggle here and you're gonna press it down, and you'll notice what happens in that screen. So as I push this upwards, you'll notice that the spaces are longer, so that's going to give more space between you and the car in front of you. If you push this button down, it's going to reduce that space, so it's just going to allow you to be closer to the car in front of you rather than further like it was set up earlier, like that. And then in order to engage, all you got to do is push this whole stalk forward, and as long as you're driving, it will engage in the adaptive cruise control. If you wanted to decrease the speed, you press it down, and increase the speed, you press it up. And that's it. And then also there's a button right here at the very bottom to turn on your lane keep assist. So you press and hold, and you can turn on the lane keeping assistant. Just like that. All right, let's go over the window regulator section. So you're gonna find your 4 windows. You're also going to find 2 buttons at the bottom that have to do with the trunk. The left side opens the trunk and the right side will close the trunk. You have to hold down the button to close the trunk all the way. So you can't just click it and it'll close. You have to hold that button down. On the very top, you'll notice the selection tool for your mirrors. So select the left mirror, set that up, and then select the right mirror, and you can also get that set up as well. Along with the mirrors, you can also set up the steering wheel. So at the very bottom, you're going to notice a little toggle right here. Obviously you can press it down, you can press it out, up, and get your steering wheel set up the way that you want it. And then last but not least, you've got your mirrors, which you can manually adjust here, and you'll have to do that based on the driver who's sitting here. It won't do it automatically. And then once you're done with the mirrors and your seat set up the way that you want it, you're going to come over here to the left side, press set, and then press 1, and you'll hear that little button, or you'll hear the little tone. It'll let you know that it just saved it. Let's focus on this section here. So you've got the option to open up the entire glass here, or you can just open up the cover. So as I press that, you'll notice the cover opens up. And all I did was I touched it with my finger, and it's going to open all the way up. If you've got the full-size Cayenne, then you do get the option with the split glass to actually open up the sunroof, and all you've got to do is pull this back once, and it will open up. And then you can stop it at any moment by pressing the opposite button, and it'll stop just like that, or you can just keep opening it up all the way. Also, you have the other option where if you press the button here, it will give you a little bit of air with the crack. Just don't forget to close that, because I don't want to have any people getting in trouble by the rain if that's not closed. So in order to close it, all you got to do is press this forward, and it will close it. And you also notice you've got your rear lights. You just touch them once, and you've got your main lights. Then you also have these individual lights, and those are controlled by just touch. And all you got to do is touch. And then you've got your SOS button here. If you get into a situation where you have to call Porsche, just press that button, and it's going to use your phone to call Porsche. Also, another really cool function, if you have the full-size Cayenne, then you're going to get the double visors. So you've got your main visor here where you can pull that out, and you also have this visor as well, and you can do that for that section. If you're just in Texas like I am, and in the morning you're going through curvy roads and the sun just seems to be everywhere your eyes are, you can use that. So that might be your favorite. And obviously you've got your mirror. On the very bottom, you're going to notice the buttons for the home link. So there's button 1, button 2, button 3. As you're coming up to your garage, you just press that button, and it will activate the configuration as long as you've saved it. All right, let's make our way to the back seat. I want to show you how to lay down your seats. So you'll notice the latch here. So just pull that, and the seats will come down, and you want to push it until you hear the click, and it will stay there. If you want to release it, you just pull up once on your latch, and then you raise that seat. And you'll notice it's gonna stop a little more flat, and you're gonna wanna kind of press on the seat and pull that latch at the same time to make it recline all the way. And then if you need to raise or lower these, the buttons are gonna be on the right side of the headrest. On the very back, if you do have the 4-zone climate control, in order to turn on the fan on the body, you do that here, you do that here, and then you can turn up and down your fan speed as well. And you also have the option for, you have the option for heated seats in the back as well. At the very bottom, you'll also notice the USB-Cs and your 12-volt connection, and another little spot right here for more storage. At the very bottom of the seat, you're going to notice a bar here. If you need to move the seat up or back, which this is the furthest it'll go, if you need to move it up a little bit, you just pull that bar up. Like a manual seat from the past, you just scoot the seat up. And then there is actually a child safety lock section here. You'll see the little symbol right there, and you'll take a key or something and twist that to manually turn on child safety locks. Let's talk about changing the time. So click the time at the top right, click time settings, and then you can have it adjust automatically, or you can manually set that as you see fit. So in this case, you find your zone wherever you're at, select it. So I'm just going to do Central Standard Time, click automatically set, and that will set my time. Alrighty everybody, that is the end of the 2024 Cayenne setup. Thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, and if you need to email me, just reach out. I'm going to leave my email in the comment section. If you need to buy a Porsche Cayenne, just reach out to us here at Porsche Austin.